Hi, this is Sherry Wellman here from Keller Williams Realty in Wellington. And I am very grateful and blessed to have the Mayor of Wellington on this call. Anne Gerwig, how are you doing, Anne?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Well, I love my hometown of Wellington, and I just thought it would be so cool if you could give us a little update about the services that the Village of Wellington is offering during this challenging time we're in, and also if there's anything that we could be looking forward to in the future.
Well, hopefully there'll be a lot of good things in the future, but for right now, I'm just proud of the way we've been able to, we've locked the front door at City Hall, but services are still there. So if there's anything you need to do, you can call in and find out who to speak to. There's a call center. So any kind of services. I mean, people are calling because they need help getting their pharmacy deliveries done. And some of our seniors are calling for our senior helpline, but the day-to-day services, like if you're having a problem with your water service, you can call and they'll handle it over the phone. If you need an inspection done, they're doing a remote walkthrough inspections on things. So permits are available online like always. So we're doing the best that we can to keep all the services going for the village as much as we can without having the front door unlocked.
That's great. And I can just tell you from personal experience, I recently had a permit closed. It was all outside and it was awesome.
Yeah, it gets a little tricky when, we're having to go inside people's homes. A lot of times they're going to be doing it kind of like if you go to the doctor now, they're not going to want you to come in if you have any symptoms. So they're going to teledoc over your iPhone or your computer. So we're kind of doing the same kind of things where we're using remote cameras and inspecting and doing what we can do to keep people going. We don't know how long this is going to be for. So we're trying to keep the services going as much as we can, because this is an unknown. It's not something that's happened before. We've never had any shutdowns except for hurricanes. And under those conditions, you kind of see it coming, when it's going away. And this is just a different kind of crisis. So it's been interesting, and we're just doing the best we can to keep our residents safe and keep our workers safe. We don't want any of the village employees to be at jeopardy. So we're doing everything we can to operate as well as we can under these conditions.
Well, I love that it's business as usual, but with safe practices, and
exactly.
We can still, do our normal routines needed. And as a realtor, I know that title companies can still get the information they need from the Village of Wellington, which is great. Because people still need their housing. So
yes.
Now, is there anything that actually works better during this time or that we can be looking forward to in the short term?
Well, tonight is our first Zoom council meeting. So I have to actually be sworn in person for my last term. It's tonight. So before the meeting is my last term as mayor, but I had to be sworn in person, but then we're going to have a Zoom council meeting. And we had a Zoom agenda review meeting yesterday. So the staff that needed to be there could be there in the Zoom meeting. And a lot of our residents have been able to get services that way too, through those types of services. So tonight, what we did is we're going to have, the public is going to be able to watch it. If you click on our link on our website, you can watch the village meeting tonight. If you have a question, there's going to be directions on how to ask a question about whatever it is on our agenda, because the governor signed an emergency order that lets us not necessarily have a quorum in the building on site, and because they don't want us to all be in the same room. So we're going to be in separate rooms in a Zoom meeting, but the public will still be able to ask questions about what we're discussing and make public comments through Zoom. So this is new, but some of our employees have also, as you know, the schools are closed. So some of our employees have been stuck working at home, trying to figure out how to do their work at home. And it's been good. Some people's productivity has actually gone up at home, and others it's been difficult because of this entire thing has just been a whole new experience.
That'll be cool to watch the meeting tonight. But isn't there something happening at a school that you can actually do during this time?
What do you mean?
I thought there was a playground project or a.
No, we have the boardwalk will be opening eventually after we've got the construction project that's behind the Village Hall, where we've been building that boardwalk, part of the town center idea. It's obviously not going to be open anytime soon because we can't have public meetings or gatherings. But as soon as we can, we'll be doing a grand opening on that. And hopefully at that time, I think what's going to happen, again, it's uncharted, so we have to go day by day. But I think outdoor events will probably be safer than indoor events for a while coming up. So we may end up being able to do things outdoors. And as soon as we could have a boardwalk, maybe we could do a parade, like a walkthrough on the boardwalk where nobody came within 6 feet of each other, but they all got to like promenade down the boardwalk. I don't know. We're gonna try to be creative and have some fun as soon as we can. It's not quite done anyways, but the school has, we're doing a project, which is we're working on a sports complex that we're building at Wellington High School. So that project is on our agenda for tonight. And we're talking about multi-purpose fields that are going to be turned into AstroTurf that were previously grass. So the school can use them during the day. We can use them in the off times when the school's not using them and on weekends. So we're going to be putting AstroTurf down where multi-purpose fields are. We're going to add some asphalt tennis courts like we used to be able to go. I don't know if you remember, but we used to go over and play tennis at the high school and the gates were open certain times. Well, we've got an arrangement now with Wellington High School. So we're going to have the back part of the property to be used for recreation. And not now. It's going to be a while before we get it constructed. But it's a really good time for us to accelerate that project, get in there now before school would have normally still been going on. But since it's not, we can get a jump on that project. So that's probably what we were talking about before is that high school field project, which is going to give us, I believe it's 8 tennis courts for public use, 4 additional multi-purpose fields along with the main stadium field, and some covered walkways, some new entry design, which will benefit the school greatly because the traffic is kind of terrible there in the morning, dropping kids off, and this is going to help get a longer staging for the drop-off, and really some good things for the school and good things for the village. So that's going to hopefully get accelerated, and we can just get to work on that quicker.
That sounds really good. And so it would be fun, I think, to have like a little celebratory thing once social distancing gets relaxed a little bit at the boardwalk. That would be cool. And then as far as other things happening outdoors, maybe once we get to that point, we'll start seeing the parks reopen. I know.
Yeah, a lot of residents have been asking for Section 24 and Village Park for the passive park areas, the walking trails to be open, because we're actually kind of all outside right now and we're passing each other on 4-foot sidewalks. So they're saying, wouldn't it be safer if we could all start on a trail and go a long way and not come into direct contact? So, you know, we're working on the governor's orders and the county mayor's orders. I've asked him a couple times. He's so busy, and he's a really great guy. I really like County Mayor Dave Kerner, and he's not answered me this last request, but looking at when we can open those passive park areas, because people are getting pretty stir crazy and they've kind of walked their dogs enough and they want to do these longer paths while it's still nice enough out in the morning or late afternoon to do it. So hopefully we'll get some restrictions lifting a little bit. But again, we're not going to go out on a limb and take any risks. We're waiting for the county and the governor's orders so that we are not doing anything that will put anyone in any kind of risk category. I'm so proud of, I don't know if you realize, Wellington Cares is a local group that serves our seniors here in Wellington. It's all not a nonprofit, and they are just doing whatever our seniors need. It's amazing. I mean, one gentleman just needed some special bandaging, and we were able to find it for him and get it over, because supplies are hard to come by. And if you're elderly, you don't really want to be standing in line in stores right now. And you might not be able to. It might be unsafe. So there's a lot of great services that I'm so proud of our residents doing for each other. It's not really a function of government, but that's kind of how we are. We're like a big community that works together. So I'm very proud of this community.
Well, yeah, I've seen so many acts of kindness and people reaching out to others that can't leave home at all. And it just warms your heart.
Yeah, yeah, it's been pretty encouraging. And to see how people have really taken to social distancing. They've worn the mask in public. We're asking that you cover your face. Now I have one here. I can't really do it because I'm holding my selfie stick, but I have a homemade one that I did. And when I'm out in a place that I have to go, my business is actually an essential service also. So when I'm going in and out and back and forth, I wear it, and it's amazing. People are complying. They're doing what they can. The mask actually helps the person on the other side of the mask. If I were asymptomatic, didn't think I was exposed or whatever, and I'm wearing the mask, it keeps me from exposing someone else. So it's when I see people doing it, they seem to be unclear about why, but it's really for everyone else. And it's a really good thing. So if you don't have one, you can wrap a bandana around your face. You can call your friends that know how to sew, and they'll help you out, whip one up in takes about 10 minutes probably to put one together. So, get creative and cover your face in public, go only where you have to go, and try not to go stir crazy when you're all locked in your house.
That's right. And I know I want to give a shout out to the small businesses, and can't wait to start going back out to dinner instead of curbside pickup, but I love the curbside pickup too. And so
we've got some great local restaurants, and the vegetables too. I picked some up over at Ollie's the other day. He's got the Basor boys out there with him, the TKM Bengard Farms. They have blueberries and a big box of vegetables and corn, and I shared it around the neighborhood and at work because it was too much corn for like one family. So, but yeah, there's lots of interesting things that local restaurants have done to keep us coming in and buying takeout. And I agree. I want to be back when we can sit and have at a table and they bring us things and the whole thing. But for now, yeah, use your local businesses. And my community pharmacy and Schaefer Drugs are both accepting thank you notes for the hospital. If you'd like to drop off a little thank you note to a medical worker who is risking, their own personal safety to go to work sometimes. So if you want to have kids or even adults, sit together, get your markers out and make a nice little thank you note. And if you drop it off at my community pharmacy or Schaefer Drugs, they will get it over to Wellington Regional Medical Center. They also have a pantry there if you'd like to donate toilet paper, paper towels, or any kind of pantry items for the hospital workers, because they're working 12-hour shifts and it's hard for them to stand in line afterwards. So there's some really creative stuff that's happened. Again, none of it was my idea. I just get to talk about it, and that's what I love about Wellington. We have great local residents who put these ideas forward and they carry them forward.
And well, thanks. This was such an awesome update to get from you. And like I said, I love our hometown of Wellington. I know you've been posting updates on social media, and we just really appreciate you and the hard work you guys are doing, even though it's, the building's locked. We know it's happening behind the scenes. And
right. And I think, I spoke out of turn on the promenade thing, but I think that might be something that's a really good idea that I might be able to talk everybody else into. Once we get that boardwalk open, where we could walk one by one and look at it safely. That'd be a lot of fun, I think.
Well, thanks so much for this this update, Anne, and I just appreciate your time. And I'll try to after this meeting, I'll try to put, when I post this on social media, I'll try to put the link to the meeting tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. wellingtonfl.gov will get you to our website, and then you should be able to find it right on the homepage, how to get to our Zoom meeting tonight.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you, Sherry.
Take care.
Okay, you too.